Have you ever found yourself, bundled up inside your own house, even when the heat's cranked way up?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe felt like your AC was just working overtime, basically cooling the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then that energy bill lands. Oof,
Oh,
that shock, right? It's pretty familiar for a lot of folks.
it really is.
What if I told you that a lot of these home discomforts, these high bills, they often boil down to one thing, something critical but, well, often overlooked: insulation.
Exactly.
So today we're taking a deep dive, everything you really need to know about insulating your home, especially focusing on what works best right here in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to unpack the essentials, stuff like navigating energy codes, REcheck, ever heard of that?
We'll get into it.
Yeah, and making smart choices for materials, for your attic, your crawl space, even inside your walls.
And our mission here really is to cut through the jargon, all the technical stuff.
Right.
We want to give you clear, actionable insights, so you understand not just what insulation types there are, but why certain choices really matter. For your home's performance, your comfort, and yeah, definitely for your wallet.
Okay, let's start with that term you mentioned, REcheck. Sounds a bit technical, maybe even like bureaucratic red tape.
It can sound that way.
But it's not just that. Think of REcheck as like your home's energy performance report card, or maybe a diagnostic blueprint.
That's a good way to put it. It's actually software. It comes from the U.S. Department of Energy.
Okay.
And its job is to help builders and homeowners, too, show that their projects meet the energy code, the International Energy Conservation Code, the IECC. It's really about optimizing that thermal envelope.
For peak performance. Got it. So when does this actually come up in Connecticut? When do you need a REcheck?
Typically, yeah, it's pretty much non-negotiable for a few key things here. New homes, definitely.
Right.
Any additions that add conditioned space, like, heated or cooled space. And major renovations that mess with the building envelope. So your walls, roof, windows, doors, anything that separates inside from outside. Your local building department, they almost always require this report for the permit application. So yeah, it's vital for getting your project approved under the state energy code.
Okay, so it gets you the permit, check. But beyond avoiding delays, why does REcheck really matter to me, the homeowner? What's the actual payoff here?
Good question. It matters for, I'd say, 4 really big reasons. First, like you said, code compliance. It's the proof you need. No costly delays with permits or inspections.
Straightforward enough.
Second, it really pushes for optimized energy efficiency. REcheck looks at the whole design, right? So it pinpoints where you can boost efficiency. And that translates directly to lower energy bills and, honestly, just a more comfortable house. Fewer drafts.
That sounds good. What else?
Third, and this is really interesting, it facilitates trade-offs. This is where the flexibility comes in.
Trade-offs. How so?
Well, say you invest in super efficient windows, really good ones.
Yeah.
REcheck might let you use, say, slightly less R value in the attic insulation, maybe a bit less expensive option there, but you still meet the overall energy target for the whole house.
So it balances things out.
Exactly. That flexibility can actually save you money on materials or labor without hurting performance. It's smart design.
Nice. And number 4.
Fourth, it supports incentive programs. Having that REcheck showing you meet or exceed code, that often makes you eligible for rebates and incentives, like the ones from Energize CT. Helps pay for the upgrades.
So REcheck isn't just red tape. It's actually kind of your friend, helping optimize the whole system.
That's a great way to look at it. It considers the whole building windows, HVAC, air leakage, roof, walls, foundation, all of it.
Allowing for those cost-effective trade-offs.
Precisely. Finding the smartest path to efficiency for your specific house, not just a one-size-fits-all list.
What about some quick questions people might have? Like, can I just do the REcheck myself? DIY?
You can. The software's free. But honestly, it takes real technical know-how to get it right. Professionals, they ensure the data's accurate, get it approved smoothly.
Okay. What if it fails?
It's not a final grade, it's a diagnostic tool. It tells you exactly where you're falling short. Then you can make targeted upgrades or use those trade-offs we talked about. It's correctable.
Does passing guarantee maximum efficiency?
No, not maximum. It verifies you meet the minimum code. To really optimize, you usually want to go beyond the code minimum. That's where you see the big savings.
And resale value. Does a REcheck report matter there?
Not directly, like on the appraisal line item, but indirectly, absolutely. Meeting or exceeding energy codes makes your home way more attractive. Buyers understand lower utility bills and better comfort mean a smarter investment.
Okay, so we've covered the REcheck side, the sort of regulatory part,
Mhm.
but let's get inside the house, where the rubber meets the road for comfort and efficiency. And usually, the first place to look is up, the attic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely critical.
Why is it so crucial? Especially here in Connecticut with our, wild temperature swings, hot summers, freezing winters.
Well, think about basic physics, right? Heat rises. In winter, an under-insulated attic is like a chimney for your heating dollars,
Just escaping.
just pouring out. And in summer, the sun pounds on your roof. That heat radiates straight down into your living space if there's nothing to stop it. It's a major battleground for energy loss. Fixing it isn't just about saving, say, 15–25% on heating and cooling.
Which is huge.
It is huge. But it's also about comfort, making that chilly room usable again, reclaiming parts of your home.
You mentioned R-value earlier, but said it's not the whole story for attics.
Right. What's fascinating here is that energy-efficient insulation, especially in an attic, it goes way beyond just that R-value number, the resistance to heat flow.
Okay.
While higher R-value is generally good, sure, what's absolutely critical are two other things: air sealing, stopping those drafts, and moisture control, preventing dampness.
Why are those so important?
Because if you don't stop the air leaks first, that expensive high R-value insulation, it just doesn't perform like it should. Air whistles right through or around it.
Like putting on a thick coat full of holes.
Exactly that analogy.
Ah.
And moisture. If insulation gets damp, its R-value plummets. It can even lead to mold. So air sealing and moisture control are foundational. You have to get them right.
Can you give an example where focusing only on R-value backfires?
Oh, easily. The classic mistake is just dumping more fiberglass bats on top of old ones without air sealing first.
Seeing that.
Right. Fiberglass has an R value, sure,
Yeah.
but air moves right through it. If you've got gaps around wires, pipes, the chimney, warm air in winter just bypasses the insulation. So you might have R60 on paper, but your effective performance is way, way lower because of that air leakage. The R value becomes almost meaningless without the seal.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So keeping air sealing and moisture in mind, what are the main types of attic insulation we should know about? How do they stack up in the real world?
Good question. There are really three main players we see in attics. First, you've got closed cell spray foam.
Okay.
This is kind of the Cadillac option, top tier. It has the highest R value per inch, usually R6 to R7.
Wow.
And crucially, it acts as both an air barrier and a vapor barrier. It expands, hardens, creates this dense, seamless seal. Amazing for tight or irregular spaces. It's pricier, yes, but it delivers maximum performance long-term.
Okay, the premium choice. What's next?
Next up is blown-in cellulose. This is the real workhorse, I'd say.
Workhorse, I like that.
Yeah, it's made from recycled paper treated for fire, mold, pests. Gives you about R3.5 to R4 per inch.
Still pretty good.
Decent R value, but its real strength is its density. When blown in, it flows into every little nook and cranny. It conforms. It seals air leaks really well because it fills those gaps. Plus, it's eco-friendly and generally very cost-effective.
Okay, recycled paper fills gaps well. What's the third one?
The third is the old standby, fiberglass bat insulation. Rolls or pre-cut bats.
The pink stuff everyone knows.
Usually pink or yellow, yeah. It's affordable, easy to handle and install, especially in open joist bays. But, and this is a big but,
Oh.
its major drawback is air sealing. It just doesn't do it. It's fibrous, installed in pieces, leaves gaps, air moves through and around it easily. For fiberglass bats to work effectively, you need near-perfect air sealing done before you install them.
Which often gets skipped.
Very often skipped or not done well enough. So its real-world performance, especially in our climate with changing pressures and temperatures, often falls short. Compression during install also lowers its R value.
Got it. So based on those pros and cons, what do you recommend specifically for Connecticut homes?
Okay, recommendations. For older Connecticut homes, the charming ones, maybe a bit drafty like you find along the shoreline, Branford, Old Saybrook, places like that.
Yeah.
Dense packed cellulose is often the sweet spot. Its ability to really settle into that old, maybe uneven framing and effectively seal those hidden air leaks, it makes a huge difference.
Makes sense for retrofit. What about trickier situations?
Right. For homes with known moisture concerns or complex roof lines, think cathedral ceilings, or maybe you want a conditioned attic space. That's where closed cell spray foam really shines. It's the better long-term investment because it's both insulation and a robust vapor barrier. Solves multiple problems at once.
Okay. And what should people generally avoid in Connecticut attics?
Good question. We generally don't recommend two things here. First, open cell spray foam. It's cheaper than closed cell, but it absorbs moisture like a sponge. totally unsuitable for potentially damp or unvented attics in our humid climate.
Right, moisture control.
Exactly. And second, relying solely on fiberglass bats without meticulous air sealing first. The real-world performance just tends to be poor due to those gaps and compression issues we talked about.
So how do you even know if your attic is under-insulated? What are the signs?
Common signs are pretty clear usually. Rooms that are always too cold in winter or too hot in summer.
Mm.
Those dreaded ice dams forming on the roof edge in winter, that's a classic sign of heat escaping the attic and melting snow.
Right, melting from below.
Exactly. Or just visually, if I peek up there and the insulation looks thin, patchy, maybe dusty and degraded, or if you can actually see the tops of the wooden joists, that's a huge red flag. You need more.
How much more? What's the target R value for CT attics?
Generally, the recommendation for Connecticut attics is to aim for an R value between R49 and R60.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
Depending on the material, that can mean 15 inches or more of insulation depth.
Can you mix insulation types? Like add cellulose on top of old fiberglass?
Yes, you often can. Adding blown cellulose or fiberglass over existing bats is pretty common. But the key is the existing stuff has to be dry and in okay shape. And critically, you must do proper air sealing of the attic floor first before adding more insulation on top. Seal the leaks, then insulate.
Gotcha. Seal first. And what about help paying for this? Rebates, tax credits?
Absolutely. Attic insulation is usually a prime candidate for incentives. There's the Federal Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit for 2025. It's up to 30% back, capped at $1,200 for qualifying insulation and air sealing. Plus, here in Connecticut, you should definitely check with Energize ACT. They often have additional rebates that can stack, making these upgrades much more affordable.
All right, attic covered. Let's pivot down below. The crawl space, often neglected, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
Totally. But it shouldn't be out of mind when it comes to home performance. Big impact.
How so? What kind of problems trace back to the crawl space?
Oh, lots. Those perpetually cold floors in the room above, often the crawl space.
Makes sense.
That persistent, musty smell you can't quite place could easily be coming from a damp, moldy crawl space. High energy bills. If the space under your floor is cold and leaky, your heating system works way harder.
Yeah.
Especially true here in Connecticut with our damp ground conditions sometimes.
So what's the best insulation for down there? Is it different from the attic?
It is different, yeah. And best really depends on the crawl space's specific conditions. Is it damp, vented, sealed? We look at like 6 key things.
Yeah.
Moisture resistance, huge for crawl spaces. Air sealing ability. The R value, of course. Durability, can it hold up down there? The install method. And naturally, cost versus performance. If it's damp or, heaven forbid, flood prone, you need something water resistant. That narrows it down quickly.
So, given those demanding conditions, what usually rises to the top? What are the go-to options?
For crawl spaces, the top choices are generally 2. First, again, closed cell spray foam.
Seems like a winner often.
It really is the heavyweight champ, the gold standard, especially if you're doing full crawl space encapsulation, which is sealing it off completely.
Why is it so good there?
High R value, check. Water resistant, absolutely. Air seals like nothing else.
Yep.
Acts as a vapor barrier, yes. It even adds some structural rigidity to the floor joists above. It's basically the one-and-done solution for transforming a nasty crawl space into a clean, dry, efficient part of the house foundation.
Okay, the premium play again. What's the alternative if spray foam isn't in the budget?
The dependable pickup truck, maybe? Rigid foam board.
Okay, like those sheets of pink or blue board?
Exactly. Polystyrene, XPS, or polyisocyanurate polyiso boards. You install these directly onto the crawl space foundation walls.
On the walls, not between the floor joists.
Typically on the walls for encapsulation, yes. You fasten them, then meticulously tape or foam seal all the seams between boards and where they meet the sill plate and the floor.
Right, sealing is key.
Crucial. Then you combine that with a heavy-duty plastic vapor barrier on the crawl space floor, sealed to the walls as well. Together, the sealed rigid foam on the walls and the vapor barrier on the floor create a really solid moisture and thermal barrier. It's very effective and usually more affordable than the spray foam.
Okay, spray foam or rigid board on the walls. What should people absolutely not use in a crawl space?
Oh, please, fiberglass bats.
Why not? People stuff them between the floor joists sometimes.
They do, and it almost always fails, especially in our climate. Fiberglass acts like a sponge in damp crawl spaces. It absorbs moisture, which kills its R value, promotes mold growth right under your floor, makes it heavy so it sags and falls down.
Yeah.
And rodents. They love nesting in damp fiberglass. It's just
Right.
a recipe for disaster in most crawl spaces. Unless it's guaranteed bone dry and perfectly vented, which is rare here, avoid fiberglass.
What about cellulose? You liked it for attics.
Very limited use case in crawl spaces, only potentially suitable if, again, it's a bone-dry, well-ventilated crawl space and you're insulating the floor joists from below. If any significant ground moisture or humidity is present, cellulose will absorb it, compact, potentially rot. It just can't handle the dampness common in crawl spaces. Not recommended generally. I've seen too many failures. People heating cold floors, never realizing the damp, uninsulated crawl space is the real energy vampire. Sometimes just opening the crawl space door and taking a sniff tells you everything you need to know.
You mentioned vapor barriers.
Mhm.
Can you clarify the difference? Vapor barrier versus insulation, are they the same?
Great question. No, they are definitely not the same, and you need both.
Yeah.
A vapor barrier, usually that thick plastic sheeting on the ground, its job is specifically to stop moisture evaporating from the ground from getting into your crawl space air. It controls ground moisture vapor.
Got it. Stops dampness from below.
Right. Insulation, whether it's spray foam or rigid board on the walls, its job is to block heat transfer. Keep heat in during winter, keep it out during summer. Thermal control.
So one stops water vapor, the other stops heat flow.
Exactly. And for a healthy, efficient crawl space, especially one that's sealed or encapsulated, you absolutely need both. Skip the vapor barrier, you get moisture problems. Skip the insulation, you lose energy. They work together.
So bottom line for us, is insulating your crawl space really worth the hassle and cost in Connecticut?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely worth it. The payoff is huge. You get warmer floors upstairs in winter, like noticeably warmer.
Nice.
Lower energy bills because you're not heating that cold space under your house anymore. No more musty, damp smells wafting up.
That's a big one.
Huge quality of life improvement. Much lower risk of mold and rot damaging your home's structure. And yeah, it adds to your home's value. A clean, dry, insulated crawl space is a major plus for buyers.
What about costs? Ballpark figures.
It varies a lot, of course. Just basic fiberglass in the floor joists, which we don't recommend.
Yeah.
Maybe $2.50 per square foot. Cellulose, similar range, maybe $2, $3.50. Rigid foam board on the walls, probably $3.50, $5.50 per square foot, depending on thickness and labor. Full closed cell spray foam encapsulation, that's the premium system, could be anywhere from $5 to $8 per square foot, or even more.
And DIYing this. Good idea or bad idea?
Crawl spaces are tricky. Damp, dark, tight spaces. Getting the materials right, the air sealing perfect, managing moisture, it's critical. Mistakes can be costly, leading to mold or rot. Generally, for crawl space encapsulation, professional installation is highly recommended to ensure it's done right.
And does fixing the crawl space help with humidity in the rest of the house?
Dramatically. A huge amount of moisture can enter a home through a damp, vented crawl space. Sealing and conditioning it properly can significantly lower the humidity levels throughout your entire house, making it feel more comfortable and reducing the load on your air conditioner or dehumidifier.
Okay, add a crawl space. Let's move to the perimeter. The walls. They're not just holding up the roof, right?
Not at all. Walls are your front line for comfort, for efficiency, even for keeping things quiet inside.
And older Connecticut homes, often lacking in the wall insulation department.
Very often, yeah. Especially homes built before, say, the 1980s. Wall insulation just wasn't standard practice or wasn't very substantial back then. So you could be paying a lot to heat and cool the outdoors through leaky, empty walls.
So what are the main options for insulating walls, especially if they're already built?
Good question. 3 main types, again, similar players but different applications. First, fiberglass bats.
The pink stuff again.
Yep. Still the budget classic. Great for open wall cavities like during new construction or a gut renovation when the drywall is off. Easy to install then, but remember that limitation. Not an air seal by itself. Needs careful sealing around it.
Okay. What if the walls are closed up? You don't want to tear everything down.
Exactly. That's where dense packed cellulose becomes the retrofit hero.
Ah, the workhorse from the attic.
Same material, different application. We drill small holes, usually from the outside, sometimes inside. Then we blow the cellulose in under pressure. It packs tightly into the whole cavity, even around wires and pipes.
No tearing down drywall.
Right. Minimal disruption.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic for air sealing those existing cavities, plus it adds noticeable sound dampening. Really ideal for upgrading older, drafty Connecticut homes.
And the third option, spray foam.
Yes, spray foam, specifically closed cell, is the premium performer for walls too.
How's it used in walls?
It can be sprayed into open cavities during construction, just like fiberglass. Or sometimes a slower rising version can be injected into closed walls, similar to cellulose, though that's less common and trickier.
Methods.
Highest R value, incredible air sealing, adds moisture resistance, and even adds some structural strength to the wall assembly. It's more expensive, but for performance, especially in our cold climate or in potentially damp areas, it's top-notch.
So, faced with those choices, how do you pick the best for your walls? What factors matter?
It really comes down to a few things. The age of your home, obviously. Critically, wall access. Are the cavities open or are they closed?
Big difference in approach.
Huge. Any moisture risks. Basement walls, walls prone to wind-driven rain, noise issues need soundproofing from outside or room to room, and of course your budget plays a big role.
When should someone seriously consider insulating or re-insulating their walls? What are the triggers?
Key moments include if your walls feel noticeably cold to the touch in winter or hot in summer. If you're doing a major renovation anyway or replacing your exterior siding, that's the perfect time, the walls are accessible.
Good point.
If your energy bills keep creeping up for no obvious reason, if you hear outside noise traffic, neighbors really clearly inside, or like we said, if your home was built before the 1980s, it's highly likely the walls are under-insulated or maybe even empty, worth checking.
And reminding us, what are the big wins, the benefits of getting those walls properly insulated?
Oh yeah, there are quite a few, at least 7 big ones. First, lower energy bills. Often 15 to 25% savings, sometimes more, just from the walls.
Significant.
Very. Second, more consistent temperatures. Fewer hot and cold spots room to room, floor to floor.
Comfort.
Big time. Third, noise reduction. Makes your home quieter, more peaceful. Fourth, potentially improved air quality, blocking drafts that carry dust and allergens.
Didn't think of that one.
Fifth, better moisture control within the wall cavity, reducing risks. Sixth, just overall increased comfort. Your house just feels better, less drafty, more stable.
And seventh,
Higher resale value. Buyers recognize and value an energy-efficient, comfortable home. It's a definite selling point.
okay, quick FAQs on walls. Can you really insulate existing walls without ripping out the drywall?
Yes, absolutely. That's what dense packed cellulose is perfect for. Or sometimes injection foam. Small holes are drilled, usually from the outside through the siding, insulation blown in, holes plugged and sealed. Minimal disruption inside.
What R value should walls have in Connecticut?
Code typically requires R13 to R21 for wall cavities, depending on the construction type. Dense packing cellulose, even if the R value per inch isn't the absolute highest, significantly improves performance by stopping air leaks within that cavity.
Does it really add to resale value?
Yes, improved efficiency, lower bills, greater comfort. Those are tangible benefits buyers appreciate and are often willing to pay more for.
How do you know what's even in your walls now?
Professionals can usually tell, sometimes by removing an electrical outlet cover and peeking inside. Or they might drill a small, easily patchable test hole in an inconspicuous spot, maybe use a tiny camera called a borescope to see exactly what insulation, if any, is there and what condition it's in.
Okay. We started this whole deep dive talking about, shivering inside or getting those shocking energy bills. What we've really uncovered is that behind those frustrations, there's this hidden powerhouse.
Yeah.
Your home's insulation. It's clearly not just about meeting some code minimum.
Not at all.
It's about smart design, it's about long-term savings, sure, but also just creating a home that genuinely feels comfortable.
Okay.
Understanding tools like REScheck, knowing the right strategic choices for your attic, your crawl space, your walls, these aren't just technical specs. They feel like the keys to transforming your house from maybe a bit of an energy drain into a real sanctuary.
Well said. And it's crucial to remember the best insulation. It always depends on your unique home, your specific situation, our Connecticut climate challenges. It boils down to choosing quality materials, definitely implementing smart air sealing techniques alongside the insulation, and honestly, finding an installer who really knows the difference between just stuffing something in a cavity and doing it right for long-lasting performance. That expertise matters.
So as you sit there listening, think about your own home. Ask yourself, what overlooked part of your home's envelope, its shell, might be secretly costing you money and comfort right now?
Yeah.
And how might uncovering that hidden energy leak, that weak spot, truly transform not just your living space, but maybe even your finances too?